Today I'm going on a date with a book. I was at the bookstore recently and they had this table full of wrapped books and they were all half price, so I thought it would be a fun idea to grab one and read it with you guys today. All the books have this cute wrapping. I'm not sure if it's leftover from Valentine's Day, but it looks so cute. You can grab a book and it's kind of a blind date because you don't know what the book is that you're going to get. All the books have a quote on the front, which I assume is a quote from the book, which gives you very little information, but I do like it because I already saw some books that I knew I wasn't really in the mood for. So I picked this quote. It says, "I saw all the mirrors on earth and none of them reflected me," which sounds to me like it can go either of two ways. Either it's really poetical and philosophical, which I'm hoping for, or it's gonna be kind of angsty, edgy, teenage book, which I'm really not hoping for. We're gonna see what the book is that I'm going to get. This can be really good or really bad. I have no clue, so let's find out together. I'm still very excited and happy, so let's unwrap it and see if I'm still so excited. Okay, let's unwrap it. Okay, it's really well packaged. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay. It's a modern classic. I just saw this. It's a modern classic edition. I really wasn't expecting that. It's an actual classic. This is gonna be a very interesting blind date because this is a classic that I'm actually interested in from an author that I really want to read from. This is the Aleph? It might be good to know how to pronounce my date's name. This is the Aleph by Borges, which is an author that I've been really interested in, and I'm very excited to be reading something from him. You never know what you're gonna get with a blind date, but this is looking very good. I don't know what this book is about, so I guess it's still kind of a blind date. It says, although full of philosophical puzzles and supernatural surprises, the stories which make up the Aleph also contain some of Borges' most fully realized human characters. So the quote did refer to some philosophical insight instead of a teenage edgy one. This volume also contains the hauntingly brief vignettes about literary imagination and personal identity collected in the maker, which Borges created as failing eyesight and public fame began to undermine his sense of self. Wow. I assume all stories will be about something different. It's a very sunny day today, so I'm thinking of taking this to the park and reading it there. And of course, I'll be taking you guys along with me. This book contains 17 short stories, all about different topics from humanity to philosophy. And the first short story, The Immortal, is actually about Greek mythology. This short story is all about Homer, which was a very pleasant surprise because last year I took a full university course on Homer, so the Greek mythology was quite fresh in my mind. And because of that, I understood a lot of the references and I could appreciate this story a lot. So I do think this story requires some background knowledge on at least Greek mythology, if not Homer's work. I think it can still be enjoyed on its own, but it just makes a whole lot less sense that way. I felt like a lot of the short stories required some background knowledge, which I feel like I didn't always have, which is unfortunate. But that way there's still a lot left to learn about this book and learn about the author. All the stories are fantasy and magical realism, and most of them are open-ended. So I really feel like the author wants you to think about the story and its meaning, which I love, but it does make it a little bit more challenging if you don't have the background knowledge. So I feel like this book is not the most accessible in that way, but it does mean that you can reread it and find new things that you didn't read before or you didn't understand before. Now, I have to be honest, as a non-native English speaker, I thought the level of English in this book was quite difficult. I felt like sometimes I didn't really understand what the author was trying to say, partly because of the English, but also because of the cultural differences. I just feel like I know too little about the author's culture to get the references sometimes. Sometimes things get lost in translation in this book. Whether it's cultural translation or language translation, I just feel like I just didn't get some of the parts that he was trying to say. And in combination with the open-endedness and the philosophical aspects of the book, I just felt like I didn't always get what the author was trying to say with these messages. Which is kind of a shame, but it also means I have a lot left to learn, which I'm really excited about. So I would say that this is not an easy or accessible book if you do want to understand everything the author is trying to convey with these short stories. But nonetheless, I still found the book very interesting, very exciting, and I'm very happy that I read it. A lot of the stories that I did think I understood were just very interesting, very nice, and very good. Especially the first one, maybe because I understood the Homer references. I thought it was such a good story. It was so interesting and it made you really think about these topics. And I loved the magical realism in this book. I loved his way with words and the way he can describe a feeling with the environment that he's working with. I think this book is very interesting. I'm very happy that I read it. And I really enjoyed this date. Hi, I'm back. As I said, I just loved reading these stories. You could really tell how much thought and effort was put into these stories by the author. I really understand why Borges is such a highly esteemed author, and I can't wait to read more of him. I think from the short stories, maybe the first one, The Immortal, was my favorite, maybe because of Homer, but I think it's also been put as the first one for a reason. I just thought it was really good. It really made you think. It was just really mysterious and a little bit strange and just very wonderful to read. I enjoyed the other stories as well. As I said, I think maybe some things may have been lost in translation or I just didn't understand them because of cultural differences. So I do feel like I still have a lot left to learn and maybe I didn't get everything the author was trying to say. Yeah, it just makes me really excited to learn more about the author, to learn more about his work and his cultural background. So it just makes me really excited to read more after this book, which is a good sign. I wasn't expecting this book. I mean, as I said, a blind date, you just don't know what you're gonna get. So I'm very happy that I got this book. I'm very happy to have this on my shelves. My favorite books just always make me think a lot and they make me see things from different perspectives and give me a cultural insight maybe, and this book definitely did that. So I'm very happy about that. I would highly recommend this book if you like thought-provoking short stories, but I have to be honest with you, I thought the English was sometimes quite difficult. I am a non-native English speaker, so maybe if you're a native English speaker, it might be more easy, but I just want to be transparent. I did think some of the stories were difficult to understand, partly because of the English, but also he leaves things open-ended quite a lot. So sometimes I didn't know if I wasn't understanding it or if this was deliberately left open-ended for you to kind of think about. I think that's all I can say about the Aleph. I really enjoyed making this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.